Well, hello again, and thanks for stopping by All Things Home, Upstate, South Carolina. I'm going off some recent experience that I've had with sellers and sellers consultations, listing appointments, to give you some insight on what you could do to help your home sell fast. Whether you're in South Carolina or in another state and you're thinking about getting ready to sell, these are some tips and tricks and some points you may want to consider before putting your home on the market. So just a little bit about our background. I am a local licensed realtor, but I'm also an interior designer. I do renovations and we do reconstructions through our home building company, Homes Incorporated. My husband is a licensed builder and we do renovations, additions, restoration work, all kinds of different things. I'm very familiar with tract builders and builders in the area, so I know kind of what you're up against if you have an existing home and you're trying to sell it up against a newer home. So I'm going to give you some tips and tricks to consider if you are getting ready to sell, to make sure the process goes as smoothly as possible. So the very first thing that we need to think about when we're getting ready to sell is curb appeal. When the buyer drives up to your home, when they see the sign in the yard, what are they going to think? Make sure that your lawn is taken care of, that it's not full of weeds. Make sure that your beds are cleaned up and weed-free, and maybe new mulch and plantings might be necessary. Just pulling out old things that are overgrown, maybe some fresh flowers, depending on the season, maybe some pots of flowers outside the front to welcome new guests would be appropriate. Make sure anything from pets is cleaned up. Check for cracks in brick or stone, siding that's missing, any kind of little red flag that might detract from a buyer. Make sure that things in the yard are tidied up, that they are stored away or neatly placed, or maybe even consider storing them somewhere else while you're trying to sell. The second thing that we're going to do to get ready to sell is just verify your square footage. Now, you can do this if you've had an addition and you've had a plan drawn, then you might have that to be able to add that to the square footage. Just because Zillow or Realtor.com says that a home has 3 bedrooms and 2 baths doesn't necessarily mean it does. Even the county information can be wrong. So make sure your listing is getting uploaded with the correct information and correct square footage, because every square foot counts, whether you're custom building or you have an existing home. Heated and cooled square footage counts. So make sure you verify your square footage. If there was a permit pulled to do the addition, make sure you have all that information. You could have the contractor's information, all of that handy for your listing, and that will help you gain more value as well. So the next thing we're going to do is start really looking at the interior. Are there any cracks, holes that need to be repaired, any damage that needs to be repaired inside? How is the plumbing working? How is the HVAC working? How is the electrical working? Are there any issues? You're going to have to fill out for a listing agent what's called a seller's disclosure. And you're going to have to pretty much legally bind yourself to whatever is wrong with that home. You're going to have to talk about what you know, and that's why it's called a disclosure. You should say what you know about the home. Make sure you clean windows and declutter. Also, if you're going to say it has new windows, make sure they're new and not 7 years old. Tell about the roof and how old it is. If there are stains on rugs or damage to floors, some of that can be seen, but if it's under an area rug, make sure you tell about it. You don't want to get in legal trouble down the road. Number 4 would be upgrades, and a great place to put money if you are getting ready to sell is just painting. bringing in a good painter to touch up trim and walls to freshen it up. Make your paint in your major open areas neutral. I know some of my clients really love color and accent walls, or they want to paint a whole room a color, which is fine if you're going to stay there. But if you're not going to stay there, I would say, smaller rooms, buyers have an easier time thinking about repainting than larger spaces. So try to make larger spaces fairly neutral, and then bring your color in other ways, like pillows, accessories, decor. That's a way to bring strong color into a fairly neutral space and still make it pop. I got these paint touch-up cups off of Amazon, and I don't know if you can hear that, but it's got a little ball inside of it that helps you mix it up. These are so handy to take your paint and put them in some smaller cups for touch-up that you can use with a small brush. And then the other thing that I got off of Amazon, again, is paint touch-up pens. And I've actually used these now several times. You just click the top to make the paint come down into the brush. And of course, clean the brush when you're done. But this is so handy to just be able to touch up some little dings on a corner, or maybe you're filling in a paint hole, getting ready to take a picture down. It's just a really great way to not have to go through the process of opening a paint can and all the mess. So I thought I would give you that little update and tip. I will put in the description below how you can order these two things, but those are really handy when you're just trying to touch up paint. Also, if you can tell the buyer what color paint, or if you're leaving paint behind, that can be a great thing to do for the new buyer. Now we're going to think about all the features and amenities that our home might have that might increase the value. And most of these are going to be existing. Does the community have a pool, tennis courts, walking trails, golf? Does the home have a pool? Does it have a hot tub? Hot tubs and pools can be added value, or they can be decreased value depending on the buyer's perspective on that. Does it have a screen porch or a sunroom? Does it have an extra garage or an adult dwelling unit out behind it that could be turned into extra living space, or a home office or something like that? Does it have an extra parking pad for cars or boats? All of these things could be added value. So think about those things in terms of how to describe the home online. You want professional photography because you want your home to shine online. That is the first time that the buyer is going to see it. The listing agent needs to be putting up professional photography that maybe includes some drone photography if there's special interest over the house, that just gives the buyer a better idea of where it is and what's around it. And a lot of buyers are shopping from out of state, so that gives them a better idea of what they can look for around that house. And then also, you might even go as far as getting Matterport or some type of virtual walkthrough attached to your listing. And all of these things can help a buyer better understand whether they need to come and see the house or not. And of course, attract them to come and see the house. Well, if you're getting some value out of this video, would you please take a moment to like and subscribe to the video? Maybe leave a comment below. Let us know where you are watching from and what your selling plans are. So now I'm going to give you a list of 7 things that really do help to increase your home value and will increase your appraisal value. So number 1, actually renovating your kitchen. And you should think about this whether you're going to stay there or not, because don't just renovate your kitchen or bath for the next person. Think about doing it for yourself now, but doing it in a way that will help your resale value. So with a bath, with kitchens, right now the trend is to have fairly clean painted cabinetry. A lot of the stained cabinetry, the old oak and dark cherry, has gone out. We are seeing some lighter oak and some grays being used in cabinets, and even some like navy blues, different colors like that could be used in cabinetry. But to go in and freshen up your cabinetry, make sure it's appealing to a buyer. Buyers really love quartz countertops right now, but quartz or granite in a white or light color would be the most popular thing to do at the moment. And updating the old track mirror maybe to a framed mirror, light fixtures, builder grade faucets, or shower heads to an upgraded, nicer unit might be a good idea. So all of these things can increase value, because these are things that honestly most people don't want to tackle, but they do want to walk into a home and have it done for them. So the closer you can get to that, whether you just paint cabinets and refresh, or whether you completely add a new kitchen or bath, renovate what's there, that can be a good return on investment. Also, just refreshing blinds, curtains, make sure you open your windows as much as possible and let as much light in. People still like privacy, but they are really liking the open, clean, crisp looking windows that don't have dated shades on them, or window treatments and fabrics that just cover up the whole window. You can take a lot of that stuff down and make your home really updated and more appealing to buyers walking through. So the next renovation, especially in South Carolina, I mean, you may be watching me from another state, and that's okay, but here people love to have porches. Screen porch, easy breeze, sunroom. It's really a popular thing here to be able to sit out in a room with a view all around and be able to let the air flow through if they want to, or close it up a little bit and heat and cool it, heat it in the winter. This is a thing that we're doing a lot for our clients, and that is adding porches, and people love that. Outdoor entertainment, fire pits. You would be surprised at how much value just enclosing a patio or enlarging it could add to your home. So number 3 is looking at your flooring and your carpet. I guarantee you, I have been in some homes that have had some flooring that was a little shocking. Hardwood floors with gaps between the pieces of wood that were pretty significant. And let me tell you, right off the bat, when people see that, they are thinking, how much can I get off of this home, because it's in a distressed condition. So if you can afford it, it's a good idea to have floors refinished, or at least compensate the buyer for needing to do that. You could put in new carpet, premium vinyl, or LVT is very popular right now. So these floor systems, premium vinyl and laminate flooring, they go in very quickly, and that can be a good solution to a floor that just really needs to be refreshed for the buyer. There is value in replacing the flooring. Number 4, we talked about a little bit about curb appeal, but think about your home's function even. Are there drainage issues, septic problems, any trees that have gotten into the sewer lines or septic? Just think about that and address those problems ahead of time to avoid any snags later. So think about all the curb appeal that we talked about, dressing up the outside, refreshing mulch, looking at holes in all kinds of other issues that may be occurring outside even the roof. And then think about, what do I need to fix before a buyer sees this, and what would make sense financially so that I can maximize the value of my home. Number 5 is going to be additions to your home, like adding a bedroom. Now, bedrooms have to have certain requirements, like they have to have egress, a window that goes out that someone could crawl through in case of a fire. They usually have to have a closet. And this is something that we just did for a client. We turned a bonus room into a bedroom by adding a bathroom and a closet to it. And now it can be listed as a bedroom. So that is square footage that can actually increase your value and the value of your appraisal. Think about if it has a dining room, a formal dining room, or something that you're not using. Could that be set up as an office? Maybe the chandelier comes down and a different light fixture is put in. Maybe some bookcases are built in. Not a whole lot of people are using formal dining rooms anymore. Some are, some aren't. But a lot of people have a large eating area that they are using primarily for eating. Also, back to bathrooms and renovations, think about the fact that a lot of people are pulling out the big soaker tubs or jacuzzi tubs, and they're actually putting in larger showers. So that can be an addition that could help you. But putting in any type of addition where someone could work from home or an extra bedroom is usually going to add value to your home. So number 6, I'm going to say kind of look at your light fixtures and your plumbing fixtures. And anything that's just maybe rusty, kind of worn looking or dated, you might consider replacing or refreshing to get a more updated, upscale look. And again, you could visit some model homes to see what you're up against as far as sales. And think about your price point, because some price points it's not going to be as important to dress those things up as a higher end, more luxury price point. So think about that from the standpoint of the buyer and what's around you in the market. Number 7, of course, is going to be paint. Back to paint again. And I just want to say, I do not like to paint personally, so I always hire in a professional painter, and it's worth it. It's worth every penny for me to do that. That's why you hire a professional, because you don't have time to do it, you don't want to do it, and it's not your professional expertise. So hire in a professional painter if you can. Get those rooms painted quickly, avoid the frustration, and they'll come in with all the equipment and get the job done for you. If you're local here in the area and you need a renovation, or you're thinking about building a custom home, you can reach out to us and we'll be glad to help. Well, thanks for tuning in to All Things Home, Upstate South Carolina. Again today, I'm Sherry Hayes with Hayes Homes Incorporated and also North Group Real Estate Greenville. And I appreciate you taking the time to watch all the way to the end. I wish you luck in your home selling journey. And if you're local, please reach out to us. We'd be glad to help you get your home sold and even help you with the preliminary work to get that done. One thing that I wanted to say before we go is one tip that I give to sellers is you might consider paying a neutral party to do an appraisal and an inspection ahead of your listing, because this can give you concrete evidence to back up your price, and also it can give you knowledge of what an inspector may flag so that you can go ahead and get those things taken care of on the front end so that you're not negotiating off your price because of them on the back end. So I hope that helped you. Have an amazing day, and we'll see you the next time.